Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2019 Brabham BT62. Now this is a track-only vehicle that started production in 2018, and 70 cars are to be produced to celebrate 70 years since the company founder, Sir Jack Brabham, launched his racing career in 1948 in Australia. And yeah, this has what Brabham calls a tubular metallic architecture, and the body features lightweight carbon fibre panels as well as carbon Kevlar wheel housings. It's also got a fully fixed aero package that includes a front splitter, rear diffuser and large rear wing, which typically are made all from carbon fibre, and altogether they are capable of producing 2,645 pounds of downforce. The suspension also has a double wishbone setup in the front and rear, and features 4-way adjustable dampers and adjustable anti-roll bars. The wheels are 18 inches in diameter, and the tyres are racing slicks, being a track only vehicle, so yeah, it doesn't have to have road legal tyres on this. So yeah, actually looks pretty damn good actually. This could easily pass for a modern supercar, road going supercar, if you took off some of the racing paraphernalia. So yeah, but as typical racing car, so yeah, very sparse interior. But there is everything here that you'd expect. Lots of carbon fibre, a electronic steering wheel. You've even got a camera that's for the rear, so you've got no rear mirror, you've got a rear camera instead. And yeah, got a fire extinguisher in here as well. So yeah, all as you'd expect for a racing car. And yeah, but as far as racing cars go, that doesn't actually have a road legal. Well, it does have a road legal version, but it's not typically going to be a road legal car. It actually looks rather fantastic. You can get a road legal version called the BT62R, which alters some elements to it in the UK to make it road legal, but on the track is where you're going to see this the most. So yeah, but despite all of this futuristic elements to it, you know, the carbon fibre, the massive amount of downforce, the fact it's got a really rather quick gearbox, it's at the end of the day dealing with a archaic engine, because it's a late 90s Ford modular engine, more specifically the 5.4 litre V8, which now produces 700 horsepower and 492 pounds-feet of torque. Now granted, that is way more power than you'd ever get from a normal Ford modular V8, especially in their road going cars. But you know, you got all of this technology, all of this, you know, futuristic materials, you know, all the kind of modern materials and aspects that you'd expect from a racing car, and yet you're dealing with a engine that's 25 years old. So yeah, it does seem a bit of a disparity, to be honest, which yeah, it does hinder it in terms of being not the quickest in terms of acceleration and top speed, especially in comparison to some racing cars. And engine noise wise, it doesn't sound particularly great, but nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road and see just what it can do. So yeah, being a track car, it's obviously not meant really for top speed, because there's very few tracks that actually have a high top speed straight. But yeah, nonetheless, let's see what it can do on this drag strip before we hit the speed camera, and then we'll get it around its natural environment in the form of a track. So yeah, only rear wheel drive. All of that power is going through a 6-speed gearbox, although at least it's not an old 6-speed gearbox, because it is flappy paddle and the like. And it does make the most out of the power, nearly 165 miles an hour there. So yeah, despite the engine being rather archaic, although obviously it has had a lot of upgrades and modifications to make it have 700 horsepower, like I said, that is way more than any normal Ford modular V8 engine was producing. It's, yeah, at the end of the day, you can't help but feeling if it had a modern engine, it would be a lot faster, you know, turbocharging or even a supercharger or anything like that. It would inevitably be a quicker car, and it would make even greater use of its phenomenal amount of downforce and its great handling and its suspension setup and the like. But still, as far as race cars go, it is easily one of my favourites. So yeah, high-end S2 class. And yeah, the stats are pretty phenomenal as well. Handling and braking 10-10, and then acceleration and launch are in the low to high 8s. Top speed is only 7.3, but it is still pretty good. So yeah, and it's not got the best weight balance. It's, you know, 41% front, 59% rear. But yeah, only weighs 2,349 pounds, so not very heavy at all. although there is a GT2 racing version that is heavier to make it fit the requirements of a 2-to-1 weight ratio, while also having slightly less power at 591 horsepower. But yeah, this is definitely the best version in terms of racing car versions. Pretty sure the road going version though won't have the same kind of power as this. But yeah, let's listen to the engine first and then talk about it some more. So yeah, it's far from the best sounding engine going, and then but that's no surprise. The Ford Modular V8 was never a really good sounding engine anyway. And you know, with these modifications and the fact it's revving a lot higher than normal, it's not really gotten any better, to be honest. But as far as handling, braking, and general performance, and the fact that it's just a very fun car to drive, it's all 10 out of 10 in those regards. 0 to 60 is dealt with in 2.881 seconds. 0 to 100 is dealt with in 5.282 seconds, and it will go to a top speed of 200 miles an hour, which is despite, you know, having all of that downforce going on it. I mean, it's got more downforce at the top end than it actually has in terms of weight on the actual car itself. So yeah, that just shows how phenomenal the downforce is on this car, and again just shows that has it had a better engine, would be even quicker. But then again, maybe 700 horsepower with this size of engine is all that you're allowed in the class that it's in. I'm not particularly sure about those rules, but yeah, you can definitely feel like this, if it was a road-going version with a different engine, would be incredible. I mean, I do love the look of it. It's easily one of the best looking racing cars out there, quite frankly, especially in terms of, you know, track-only vehicles. It's, yeah, absolutely fantastic in terms of the way it looks. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we aren't going to be able to try out the road legal version, or the fact that they're not even going to mass produce a road legal version, because I think this would sell very, very well. And yeah, as far as Australian cars go, it's easily one of the fastest out there. But yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.